Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial we will learn how to create a pricing table widget. So let's get started. Before starting the video, if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest videos on time. Alright, so as you can see, this is the pricing table that we are going to create. Now I'm only going to focus on the content section only. That means I'm only gonna make the content section dynamic. I'm not gonna focus on the styling section or the inline editing or the other stuff. So let's go back into the code editor, and for saving the time, I already created a file and named it pricing table.php and added the necessary functions and also added the stylings for the pricing table, as you can see here. And also I included this pricing table.php file into the main plugin file my Elementor widget and into the init widgets, and I just record the file that we're gonna need, pricing table.php, as before, like the preview card.php if you follow the other tutorials of the preview card that we have created. So this is the file, or this is the pricing table file or widget that we are gonna work on. So what we have done here, we just create a new class for the pricing table widget. We give a new ID here. This is the new title or the labeling, and rest of the things are same. Register controls are still blank, nothing in it, only the style tab, the private function, only it is initialized here. And into the render function, this is the plain HTML that I have just put it on, and this is why we are seeing this at the front end as output. So this is the plain HTML and there's nothing in it, just a static HTML, and I'll give this HTML and the CSS into my description or the code description. So what we will do, we will let's go back into the front end. And what we will do, we will divide it into the 4 sections. At first we will divide it into the header section, and then the pricing, and then the listing, and at the end we will divide the section as the bottom button section, as you can say. So let's start. Open the code editor and let's open our previous preview card so that we can have some code reference from there. So at first what we need a section for the pricing header. So let's say header section, or header settings, and we can grab some code reference from here for the settings or the section settings. We will change according to our needs. So we can say header section, and we can say let's say header, let's capitalize it like this, and it does have an end. So let's collapse the code, and this is the end. Alright, so this is the header section settings. So let's check that out. If we just hit refresh and click on it, as you can see, the header section has been appeared. So let's finish up with the main settings section. So let's do for the pricing section. So let's just duplicate this or copy and paste, and this is for the price settings. Let's say price section, let's say pricing, and then let's copy it again, and for what we can say listing, let's say listing, and at the bottom let's say button settings. Say button. So let's check that out at the front end. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so just one is appearing. Let's see. Okay, because of the ID were same, so let's change from the listing section and the button section. Now let's refresh. So as you can see, our main four section has been appeared. So now let's start with the header section first. So let's go back into the code editor. But before that, let's check that what we need actually for the header section. So for the header section, what we need actually, we need a title, we need a subtitle, and what we need a batch actually, whether it is popular or not. So we need three things. We need header title, subtitle, and actually four things: title, subtitle, a toggle. If it does have a batch, then we need a text field for the text. So let's do that. So we are in the header section. So first we need the title. Okay, so let's go back into the browser and search for the text area here, and let's grab the code from here, go back, paste it here, and let's say header title, and let's keep the title here, and we can grab the small business title here, or we can say pricing table title, or just pricing title. Keep it short. Alright, so let's copy this, or actually we want the text area here because it might be a long text. So let's go for the text area. We can use the VoiceWag, but let's use the text area for this, for the simplicity. Let's say description. Let's say header description. Keep it description, and let's say, okay, let's copy, or let's say just default description. Let's keep it like this. Or okay, it's fine. So the next thing is a switcher. So this is the switcher we need. It's open, and let's just grab this. Let's say show batch. You can say show batch. Here is also show batch. So the return value is yes. So default is, let's keep it yes. Alright, and the next one is also text area. If it is yes, then we should also need to put the text here. So let's say badge text, and let's say header badge text. Badge text here. You can say popular. You can say badge text. Alright. So let's see into the front end. Hit refresh. Okay. So as you can see, everything is coming here, but what we can do, this is not looking nice. Okay, so let's do some visibility correction. Let's say level block to true. So if we say level block to true, it's gonna get the entire area. That means it will gonna display block. See, so it looks nicer. And what we can do, we can reduce this text area by just reducing the number from here. Just say 5, and let's copy it from here and do the same for the batch text as well. This way it will look much better. Alright, yeah, so it looks nicer. Now what we want, actually, if the batch is hidden, we do not want the batch text to be appear. So what we can do for this, we can do a condition here. Condition, it's an array, and it's gonna take this key, so it will only appear when the value of this key is yes, because its return value is yes. So let's hit refresh, reload. Alright, so see, if it will only show when the batch is showing. If it is hidden, then it will not appear. So this way it will be more professional, or it will be more realistic. Alright, so now it's time to implement those settings into the real scenario. So let's go back into the code editor. Now let's go back into the render function. Here it is. So we are already grabbing the value with the settings variable by the get settings for display method. So what we can do here, for the title, we can just say PHP echo settings and the key name. The key name is header title. So we can do the same for the description as well, and I believe it is header description. And for this one we need to do a condition, and the condition is we're gonna check with the if statement. So if the value is yes for the settings for the show batch, and only then we're gonna show this one. So let's close the if condition. Alright, so if the show batch keys value is yes, only then we're gonna show the batch, and then if it is yes, and then if there is a text, we are gonna also show that as well. So I believe it is, the key name is header batch text. So let's just recheck it. Yes, it is. Alright, so what I have done so far, we add the title here, we add the subtitle here, actually it's a description, and we make a condition for showing the batch, and finally if it is yes, then we are showing the batch text as well. So let's see the result. So let's hit refresh, reload. Hopefully everything will be fine. Okay, so as you can see, already it is reflecting. So this is the pricing table, this is the description that is already reflecting. Show batches is hidden, so that is why it is not appearing. If I click on here, and as you can see it is appearing, and because it is just popular, and if you just change it, as you can see the exclamatory sign is appearing. So I guess everything is working nicely. So this is the end of the first section of, as you can see, the header section we have completed. So the next section would be the pricing. So let's do that. Now for the pricing section we might need just two fields, for the symbol and the price and for the duration. So let's go back into the code editor, and okay, let's just grab a text area from here, and let's paste it here. Say price. That's a pricing price. You can say $1.99 here, and type here, let's say just price. Alright, so let's duplicate this one, and let's say duration. Pricing duration. You can say it here. Alright, so let's check that out. Alright, so as you can see the price and the year. Alright, so now let's implement it. So the key is pricing price and the pricing duration. So what we can do here, we can just say PHP echo settings, pricing price, and let's just copy this portion. You can say pricing duration. So yeah, so let's hit refresh, and everything looks okay. So let's try to change the price from 99 to 98. It's changing, and let's change it from year to month, and it is working nicely. So we can say we are done with the pricing section as well. So the next section and the most exciting section is the listing section. So let's get started with it. Now for the listing section we need some kind of a more advanced controller, some kind of a repeating controller in order to do something like this. So Elementor does have something like this, and it is called the repeater. So this is the documentation for the repeater. So let's check that out. As you can see in the register controls, we need to initialize a class from the Elementor, and it is repeater, and from there we need to use the add control method, and there we can use our conventional controls like the text or the text area or the any other controls. But after using those controls, we actually at the end we need to add those controls or wrap up those controls into another add control method, and this time we need to use this with the repeater type of control manager, and then we need to assign those into a fields keys by the get controls method, and we can also assign the defaults and also the title field with the list title, by which we can use this into the JavaScript syntax. So there is a lot of stuffs going on, but let's do step by step so we can understand clearly, and we will do it in our own way. We will not copy it from here so that we can understand it step by step. So let's go back into our code editor and let's start doing this right here. So let's start here, list repeater. Okay, so let's assign our repeater here, repeater. Elementor repeater. Okay, so we have assigned our class here. Now what we need to do, let's copy this portion actually, so we do not need to write everything because this is the same. Okay, so we can copy it, and for our pricing table we just need a text area, so we already grab it. So let's name it feature. Let's say feature text. Let's say feature. Alright, so let's just keep it blank so we can just type it away right away. So we just need a single repeating field in order to add those things. And finally what we need to wrap up those controls that gonna repeat repeatedly into a controller, and that the name of that controller is repeater itself. So I just grab the code that I have already written. That will save you time. Okay, so as you can see, there is a slight difference. This time we're not using this repeater object, we're using the main this object, and we're using the add controller. So this is the difference. This time we're referencing this, not this repeater. Okay, so you have to careful with that. So now here what we are doing actually, if we clear it, so this is the level as before, this is the type we are using, the repeater type, and this is the important thing. Here we are using this object and we are using get controls. So with this actually we are grabbing these add controls that we are using for the repeated fields, and this is the field that will help you to generate the default things. So what we are doing here, actually we need to use this key, not the list feature. So this is how this control will know that this key should be generated by default. So we can generate this several times, like if we need 3 or 4, like if we grab it from the HTML. So let's say we want to show as it is, so we can copy and paste it here. Let's do it another one. Alright, so that means this 4 field will be generated by default, and also we will put it this here so that we can use this into the JavaScript as well. So the conclusion is that if we want to use a repeater, we need to call this class, and using this object we are gonna use these conventional controls by using add control method, and inside the add control method we are just using conventional controls like this, and then we are using the main this object and using add control method again, but this time we are using the repeater field, and inside the repeater field there is an extra key, and in where we are using the repeater object which we have assigned here, and with that we are calling the get controls by which we are getting these fields. So it can be more fields here. We are just for our purpose we have needed only one text area, so we just used one, and this key actually using for the default value appearing. And then let's see what happens into the front end. So if we hit refresh, then as you can see in the listing, there is already 2 items. Nothing is here. Alright, so let's go back into the front end and let's see what happens. So let's hit refresh, reload. Okay. And alright, so let's go back into the front end and let's see what happens. So let's hit refresh and click on listing. As you can see, the default 4 values has been appearing. If you click on that and try to add something, let's try to hit update, and it will stay updated. If we hit refresh, it should stay, the updated value should appear here. As you can see, the value is updated. And also we can add some more values, like let's say new value, and if we hit update, now there should be 5 features. So if you also hit refresh and recheck it, and as you can see, there is 5 values appearing. So we can also delete it, and we can also let's click here and also edit it. You can also keep the same, but now we need to make those changes appeared into the front end. So let's add another one. Let's add this let's say another one, just say another one, and let's say up to 10 users, so we can verify that yes, it is changing. Also let's say max 200 users, let's say 500 to let's say 1000 queries. Okay, so this is how we will know that yes, our updated value is appearing actually. Okay, so now let's implement those things into the real scenario. Okay, so how we can do that? So let's go back into the code, into the documentation first, and let's see how they have done it. So what we can do here, we can grab the settings list. That means whichever key we have used with this add control, we can grab it here. We can loop through the for each, and then we can grab with the item. Okay, so let's go back, and this is the list, so we can grab it like this, and this is our looping through items. So we can say here, we can say for each. Okay, settings list, sorry, not like this, as item, and let's just delete all those. That's in the end for each, and here what we can do, okay, what we can do here, we can say just item, echo item, and here we need to use the key of the repeated item, that means the feature text. So if we use that here, that will show the feature text here. So let's check that out. Hit refresh, and as you can see, every value is appearing. So let's check that out. Yes, up to 10 users, yes. So as you can see, our value is working nicely. Now I actually plan to add an icon besides the feature list, but I forgot to mention it earlier, so let's do it right now. So in order to add the icon besides the feature list, we need to use the Elementor icon controls, and there it is, the icons control. It's a multiple control, so I just open it. So this is how we need to use this control, but because we have to use it into the repeater control, inside the repeater control, so we just need to grab inside this portion. So let's go back into the editor, and what we need to duplicate this repeater object actually, and then we'll just replace the inside section, just format the code, and we can say feature icon. Okay, let's say feature icon here, and let's say fast star, let's check. So we just want a checkbox, and the library is solid, and we are actually basically using the font awesome font by default. Alright, so by adding this, we do have actually the default, we actually enabled already the repeater field inside here. So let's check it out. If we hit refresh and into the listing, there is already a checkbox, icon box, as you can see, and each and every feature repeater field there is an icon checkbox. Okay, so now what we can do, we need to implement it, but the implementation is a bit different. So if you want to use this into the DOM, we need to use it in a bit weird way actually, I would say. We need to call, or we need to use the static render icon method by using the icon manager class straight away, and then inside that we need to use this value here. So let's grab the code from here actually, and then let's change it according to our value. So our key is actually feature icon. Okay, so this is the icon we're gonna replace, and we cannot use the settings because we are already in the loop and our key is item, and we need to say feature icon. Alright, so that should work. Let's check into the front end, hit refresh. Alright, nothing will appear because we actually need to assign the value. Yes, now it will appear. Just clicking on that. So now if you can change the value, let's say insert this one, as you can see it is changing. So if we change the other one as well, like let's say check, so as you can see everything is changing. So you can use any icon as you want. Okay, so I think this is it for this listing section as well. Now for the button section, I will leave that to you because I have already shown that in the previous videos how you can do this. You can check those videos out. The link will be in the suggested videos. So I hope you like this video. If so, then like the video and subscribe the channel as well. See you in some other videos. Thanks.